Hey, did you listen to the new Adventure Zone?
I did. It was so good. Have you heard it? Right?
Cliffhanger man left me. I
No.
finished
Who
it
gives a
today.
shit? I want to cut off his arm.
He
Wait, hold on.
said,
You what?
yeah,
You
he
want to cut
goes.
off his arm?
Everyone knows I'm like good at like cutting off arms. I'm
Yeah.
the
Like,
arm.
yeah. It's a curse, really. I'm so strong that I just have to cut off people's arms. It's so good, man.
And now we're left with his arm still being cut off.
Yeah. It's still
Oh,
all.
that's
Yeah.
insane.
It's so good, man.
I started listening to the Cool Games when they did. I'm just like 10, 15 minutes into Cool Games. It's where they just sit around and brainstorm what a cool game would be. Like
Oh
what if
yeah.
So haven't really got into it yet. We'll see.
Interesting.
It's the guy who leads. He's the DM. It's that guy,
Yeah. It's Griffin.
Travis
Griffin.
Griffin. Yeah,
Griffin's the DM. Travis
McElroy.
is Magnus, and Justin is uh, my favorite
Uh,
character, Taco.
Taka. God.
I'm partaking in my last. Well, I say my last. My second to last beer. I will have beer and crappy food tomorrow night. But other than that, I'm
Mm.
doing like a cleanse my body. Not like a cleanse in your sense where you do like those crazy cleanses. I'm just like going strictly healthy. Protein shakes, steamed vegetables. Like I gotta clean it up, man.
You'll feel so much better too. It's just like
Mhm.
cleaning out the gunk in your tank.
Yep. And the only reason I don't start now is because I've got a babysitter tomorrow night. So I was like, dude, Brian, Matt, we've got to chill. We've got to do something.
What are you guys doing tomorrow?
Him and Brian and some friends were already planning to go like eat at a brewery. Um, and I was like, yeah, I'll go with. I just wanted to hang out with my friends, the ones that are physically close, the ones that didn't move away.
Whatever. All right, I need to get that picture too.
What the YouTube one?
Oh wait, I can share it. I'll just do yeah.
I just Googled YouTube and grabbed it off the web.
Well, I'm just gonna use that whole the re-app thing
Repost.
I have. Where's it
Yeah.
at?
Well, you know what was funny when I was typing that, and I was like, damn, if I would have thought about it, I would have had 5 more minutes. I can just put the live stream on our webpage next time. That way we can just send people to the webpage,
Oh yeah.
and then they can watch the live stream there. I don't know how I'm going to integrate chat, though, or if I even can. I'll have to look at that.
Dude, I thought I had the repost thing on here. I guess not.
I guess not.
I know you're here. Where are you?
So much TV in the show notes. And your check-in, I was just reading them. Oh.
Oh, there it is. Boom. Repost. Okay. Assuming that's it. Yep. Repost. Open Instagram. Good.
Oh man, you have got to watch The Night Before.
Is that a movie? Well, I guess
Yes.
or a TV show. Okay.
Yes, it's a movie. And I think you would think it's hysterical. It's got Jason no, Justin no John what the oh god, I don't know his name.
Jason Sudeikis.
No, it's the dude from Inception, but not Leo, the other guy that was his like sidekick, but not the girl.
Oh,
Yeah, you know who I'm talking about.
yeah.
That
I
guy,
can't.
it's got Seth Rogen and it's got the Hawk guy from Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like he gets like he's chasing this chick and she throws like micro machines and he slips on her and he goes, she home alone to me, get her.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's so good. It's so funny. Like there's this portion where Seth Rogen's on drugs super bad and he swapped phones on accident, and so it's got a chick's phone and he's getting dick pics. And he's
Oh
like,
gosh.
"Oh God, why is this sending me?" And he goes through like, "Who could this be?" Because he's high, so he thinks it's his phone. And then the dude's like, "You want to suck it?" And he goes, "I've never sucked a dick." And goes back and forth. And he goes, "If I'm being honest, I touched one at summer camp one time." I'm like,
If I'm being honest.
yeah, it was super good.
Oh
Oh man,
gosh.
you have to watch it. It's so good.
So good. So good.
Mm, mm. Yeah, so good. What did that come from? What did we start doing that from? Oh, I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous.
So I've got several. I emailed Vistaprint, man. I don't know what else to do. They do something similar, but I don't know if you have to have like a massive amount of orders like consistently.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that works either, and I didn't have time to look at it today, but definitely something I want to look into.
You just got another subscription on YouTube. What up?
What up? All right, man. I'm gonna
Let
shut
me-
your mic off here in a second. And then...
Hey, you were a little quiet on yours, like on the podcast. Did you notice that? Like your mic's a little quieter than mine.
Hold on. Yeah, I can adjust for that. There we go. Do I sound better? Louder?
Yes, yeah. To me, I mean, you sounded good anyways. It's just on the. I could hear you just fine. I don't know if
Okay.
you actually
Well, I'm
listened
gonna-
to the.
Well,
It wasn't
no.
like real bad, you know. It was,
Yeah, you were just louder. I got it. Okay. What's new? Okay.
Hi, I'm Devin, and I'm the pastor.
Hi, I'm Dwayne, and I'm the Atheist, and you're listening to the Pastor and Atheist Show. Dude, I really love that guitar riff as an intro.
pretty good.
Yeah, and considering a 16-year-old girl built that, just messing around.
She better be famous someday. And if she is, we get all
You
the
know
money
what?
for it. You're
I
welcome.
should plug her YouTube. Though I can't remember.
That's what this show's for, man. We can do what we want.
Oh no, I can't remember what her YouTube was.
Your uncle, right? Is that your or cousin?
No, cousin.
You're a terrible cousin.
I will look it up and I will find it.
Let me plug this. I don't know where to go
I
find
put it on
her.
my Twitter, but honestly, I put
Oh,
so
yeah.
much junk on my Twitter.
Who knows?
Who knows? And it's on my Facebook at some point. Yeah, that being said, man, welcome to episode 10 of
Dude,
the
it's the
Pastor and
Big
Atheist
10.
Show. It's the big 1-0.
It's the milestone episode.
I mean, how many milestones do you have in a life, though, right? Like,
A lot. I feel like I put up something on Facebook or Instagram every other time. It's like, hey, milestone numbers. You know,
I mean,
people
that's because
are
we're
probably-
growing, like, at a pretty astounding rate, considering us being two, like, super nobodies. Like,
Speak for yourself.
I always do. Like, I'd never speak for someone else. Like,
I'm kidding. You're not a nobody. You're a somebody.
well, everybody's a body. That's by definition. You all got one.
Touche. Well, unless you're just ahead. And there's a joke I have for that another time.
Yeah, are you just saying it's not appropriate? Are you
No,
saying
it's
that
definitely appropriate. It's just a little long. It's a little long joke.
Well, let's hear it. I want to hear it now.
Okay,
you've interested me.
okay. So there's this kid who's born, and don't go into the science or the logic behind it. It doesn't make sense that way. Kid is born. He's just ahead, literally just ahead, and his parents are, they're sad, but they love him because it's their baby boy. I don't know how they know it's a boy. Again, just ahead. So so the boy's growing up, and he's finally 21 years old, and he's had a very different life from many other children, obviously because he's just ahead, and so his dad's like, you know what? I'm gonna take him out for his first drink. He's had it rough. I'm just gonna make this happen. So they go out to this bar, and so he buys his son his first drink, and pours it down his mouth for him, and he drinks it, and all of a sudden, like a torso pops out of the head, like a fully formed torso, and everyone's astounded. They're looking around. So his dad, he takes another drink, and arms pop out, and so eventually this full body is formed, and his son has fully functioning body like everyone else, and they're so excited. Well, they go out throughout the rest of the night, and they're drinking more and more. The son gets so hammered, and he walks out in the road, gets hit by a car, and killed. And the bartender just shakes his head and said, "Should have stopped while he was ahead."
That's such a terribly cheesy joke, but I love it.
It is. I don't know. I can't remember where I heard it from. But
I don't
it's
know.
classic.
Yeah, it's one of those good ones. It's similar to the joke where you have where you have a cup of coffee and you're just like, but there's no coffee. That's one of my favorite like sticks, right? I did find that YouTube video, and I will link it. And it's actually a song she wrote for her dad, and we had to convince her to put it on YouTube, and so the more exposure, the better. Oh my God, actually, and just to forego this a little bit more and talk about her. She does an amazing job of "Love Yourself" by Justin Bieber.
The Biebs.
Yeah, the Biebs. She
Is it on her page too?
no, because she won't. She doesn't. She has zero confidence in herself, like, let's be honest. Which sucks, because she's so good.
Maybe she can just do voice if she doesn't want to be seen. That way.
Right, and I tried to get her to do that. Wait, hold on. Nope, that's Nashville. I'm wondering if I can play this and see if it'll be loud enough.
For all the times that you rain on my parade, and all the clubs you get and using my name. You think you broke my heart, oh girl, for goodness sake.
Get down with that, man.
Think I'm crying, oh my, oh well I ain't.
Right.
I should beatbox for that.
Write a song, 'cause I didn't want anyone thinking I still care, I don't, but you still hit my phone, oh, and baby I'll be moving on.
So good. And she didn't do like the whole song, which pisses me off, because I like her version better. Like, I like acoustic better anyways, and dude, for her
She's
to,
really good.
she just picked that up and was messing with it, and I was like, I hate you and your musical talent, especially because she's not fucking using it.
Isn't it right where like people always who have the talent are like, I don't want to use it. It's alright.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, if I had half your talent, I'd be half as good as you. But
Yeah,
it's
and
so
I would be all over YouTube. Like,
yeah.
I would be whoring myself out like nobody's business.
Guaranteed.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna. That reminds me. I've got to hound her. I'm actually gonna send her a text message right now and tell her she needs to finish that.
So we just talked about her for like 6 minutes on our podcast. She's welcome. That right there. If she's gonna get hits, she's gonna like 10 extra hits because of us.
Yeah, all 10. Yeah, all 10 of you need to go to YouTube, and I'll put it in the show notes, and you should go check it out.
I can tell if anybody, cause like I don't want to mess up my internet possibly and see if people are chatting. So you have to let me know if people.
Yeah, I've got that up. I've got that up over here. I don't see anybody, but that's all right, brother.
It'll catch on. You want me to go ahead and jump into weekly check-in?
Yeah, let's hear about your week, man.
Awesome. Hey, there's a lot of people on Twitter who are liking that we're on right now. Maybe they'll jump on.
Yeah.
So weekly check-in. I had a very funny week this week. With what I said, we took Atlas to the lake. I say lake. There's like this small pond very close to us. But we take him to the park all the time because he's just where we are. We don't want to be cooped up in the house all the time. But we take him out, and Atlas is so like he's not scared of anything, like at all. I guess, but most children are. They don't know to be scared yet. So we're walking around this pond, and he loves water. He's just a water baby, and he's close to the edge. And my wife is like, "Don't let him get close. He's gonna fall in." And I'm like, "He's all right. He's all right." And he just keeps like edging, a little closer, throwing some stuff.
Getting
like
a little bit braver.
A little more brave. Because he just doesn't know what's going to happen, And then all of a sudden it happens, and he slips, he falls in, but it's not very deep. I mean, he's like on his back like a turtle, and just like just kicking to get up. And I'm there to pick him up, But like it's cold, it is cold, so I take his shirt off, and my wife wraps a jacket on him. But we were just talking about how moms and dads the dynamic
my
of moms
gosh,
and dads.
we can go on about that for like a whole episode.
My wife was like, I'm glad that you do those dad things, though, because he would never get to experience that with me because I'm mom. That's not going to happen.
Moms are overprotective, typically. And dads are like, you'll be fine. It'll be all right. Let him
put some dirt in it.
Put some dirt on it. Yeah. Oh, my God. I heard that so much from people growing up. Never my dad, ironically enough. But every other male figure in my life. My dad was like, oh, you're bleeding. All right.
Listen,
it'll stop.
If the male figure in your life told you to put some dirt on it, they're doing their job, all right? I don't care what else they've done.
I told my son that, and he went, why? Why don't I get a Band-Aid? And I went, yeah, that makes more sense.
You go, just put some dirt on it. Yeah. Besides that, we watched New Girl today. Typically, we get it Wednesday mornings and watch it because it comes on Tuesdays.
Mm-hmm.
It is... I just want to pitch it because it's so hilarious. Like, that's the only thing I had about that. Just go watch New Girl if you want to watch something. It is so funny, and if you hate it, I'm sorry. I don't hate you for hating it. I'm sorry you don't appreciate it. Fuller House, if you haven't seen that, man, you should check that out. I don't know if you were a Full House fan.
I was not a Full House fan. Like, I saw episodes here and there, but I was not like an imbiber of the Full House methodology.
Well, if nothing else, we had a few friends who said, I don't know, I don't want to ruin the nostalgia of the episodes when I was younger. And I'm thinking, like, watch the first episode. There's so much nostalgia. I mean, all of the guys that were in the original are there. All of the sisters, of course, save the Olsen twins are in it. and
Right.
it's great. They do some side by side videos. So like when they were in the '90s doing like a scene, they recreated the exact scene and they showed them simultaneously, which is really cool for anybody who loves it. If you don't like that show, you won't like it anyways. Now, episodes after that, they do all the guys like aren't there every episode, but in each episode, those guys make an appearance, so you see them.
Right, they
throughout the
make
rest
their
of the
cameos, so to speak.
Yes. Yeah, and it's really good. I think it's really well balanced in terms of how they put those guys back in, yet let the story stay true to like the DJ Tanner, because it's kind of about her. Her husband was a firefighter and he died, and that first episode. It's not a spoiler or anything. So she has 3 sons, and so she's kind of raising them by herself, or thinks she's going to have to. So it's a feel good show. If you like Full House, you'll like Fuller House. Last thing, I got us some coffee mugs, and I got to send Dwayne his soon. So these are the Pastor and Atheist mugs. You've probably, again, if you watch the show and you follow us on Instagram or Facebook or anything, you've seen this coffee mug blow up. I think Dwayne and I have pretty much said that we want to try to give a couple away, so that requires
absolutely.
you at home as listeners and viewers if you're on YouTube. That requires you guys to do what we say, and you have to go send us questions. But we really want you to go rate our show if you like it. If you don't like it, don't go rate it unless you're just going to give it a 5 default. I'm kidding. Be honest about it. Go rate and review. And
But be honest with a 5. Be honest with a 5.
Yeah, what do you like, or what would you like to see more of? We want to know that stuff. We always want to, like Dwayne said, constantly evolve our show for you guys, because we like doing this, but we like having your input as well. Because if you don't like the show,
I think what I really want to see feedback is, like our first email was a very thought-provoking question. He wasn't just like, hey, what's your favorite color? It's a very deep, spiritual question. And, and admittedly, I probably washed over it a little bit, but that's just because I wasn't a fan of the content.
Right.
I still appreciated him very much so. But
absolutely.
I loved the questions. I loved the interest. Talking to listeners, people who have listened to it, it's super fun to hear what they say about it. I'm still pretty shy about telling family members and friends, though I do have a friend who one of my best friends, he listens to it, and he actually texted me earlier this week, was like, dude, I had a moment of pure sadness today when I was caught up and I had no more episodes to listen to, and I was like, I'm so sorry.
That feels good. That feels
yeah,
really
it does.
Good. I didn't know that, so that's awesome to hear.
Yeah, I hadn't had a chance to tell you, and so yeah, he was super stoked about that, or sad rather, and he's stoked for this new episode. But he typically can't watch the live stream,
which is cool because now Dwayne is, of course, he's the dude, he's the man, he's the one who makes it happen for us. So if you want to shoot him just a thank you email, like Dwayne, he makes everything go up. He did our website, which looks fantastic, and you can go read any of our posts we put up. Dwayne put one up. It went out last night, right?
It went out this morning.
This morning, okay.
Yep.
I was able to read it, so it went out this morning. So we both got a couple articles up. So go check it out. Got a lot of stuff happening. Thanks to Dwayne. So thank you, sir. Appreciate you doing all that for us.
Yeah, man, no problem. It's in my wheelhouse.
It is in your wheelhouse.
So
Mine is talking, so this works out really well for us.
yeah, it does. You do your job quite well.
Thank you.
It gives your wife a break as well. Not
Doesn't
so
it?
important.
Yeah, we're putting the baby down right now, and then we're gonna go watch this new show we're on called Bloodline.
Bloodline. What is that about? It sounds familiar.
It's I don't know if you ever saw Friday Night Lights. It's the coach who's in Friday Night Lights. He's like the main character. We love him.
Sure.
It's basically this family, super tight knit family, 4 brothers. It's very you have to watch the first 3 episodes to kind of get what's even going on. So
Yeah.
if you're looking for something new, you're in a show hole, Netflixers, go check out Bloodline. I think you'll like it, even the first episode. So anyways, that's what I got.
Wait, no, I've seen Bloodline. Is that when? Is that the one of the main brothers is a sheriff?
Yes.
And then there's this brother that's a screw up.
Yep.
Oh, that's a good show.
Yes,
it's
we're on
been a
episode
year
6.
since I've seen it, but oh my god, that's a good
I
show.
didn't realize it's been out that long. Yeah, but
Yeah, it's a Netflix original. It was out before Daredevil. If that gives you how old it is.
Yeah, that's really because I started watching Daredevil and stopped. The theme song for that show, for Bloodline.
Bloodline?
Oh, really
isn't
good.
it though?
It's really good.
Oh, it's such a good show, and it sucks because last I checked, I haven't seen any more of it. So you watch it and you go, "No, I need more."
Episode 2's coming out, or season 2. First episode comes out March 20th.
That's soon.
Yes.
That's soon.
There you
Oh,
go.
that's amazing. And I love the girl that's in that.
The sister. Is that
The
what you're talking
sister,
about?
yeah.
Oh, and the girl from Carrie, like the girl who was Carrie, is the mom in that show. I was
Yeah.
like, I know her from somewhere, but where
Yeah.
is it?
Oh yeah, I know. I was like, that's super familiar, and then you see it, and you're like, oh. And then you have things like the reboot of Carrie, and that was god awful.
Yeah. We should strike that if you could. That doesn't deserve to be on the podcast.
No, well, I'm doing a service by letting people know it's awful, and they just shouldn't be a part of it.
Yes, you are. So let's go to your check-in, man. How have things been for you this week?
Dude, it was super chill. I got oatmeal, which I'm not typically a fan of, but I found some oatmeal that's not awful, and so I've been eating that for breakfast, just to bring in some variety, because I'm about to go into, which, I always eat my rice and beans and crap,
Oh,
but I'm switching this week to just chicken and steamed vegetables, which will be a little different, because that's something you can eat every day and be super healthy, but then have oatmeal and protein shakes to...
Supplement.
Man, I've been doing like this healthy crap or eating the rice and beans as the majority of my food for like, I don't know, a year and a half, and
Yeah.
I need a change of pace, and so I've made a change of pace, and it starts next week, and so I'm pretty excited about that. I'm like learning a lot at work. Not only am I learning it on the job, I've been reading the Network Plus book, and that's just so, it's filling in a lot of gaps on history. Like, because obviously at 26, IT was around before I was working on it, for sure. And so some of these concepts that some of the older guys throw out that aren't used anymore, I'm like, oh, that's how that came apart, and that explains why things evolved the way they did. And it's like basically a history book to some degree and some depth, and that's awesome. Yeah, man, it's... But your brain feels so tired every day because you work all day, which for me is always a learning experience typically, and then I come home and like study for an hour or two, and so it's like, ugh.
So it's just constant on the go.
Yeah, it's constant brain activity. So I've just been exhausted all week really because of that, and then I worked late this week, and then I'm gonna work late next week, and it just adds up real quick.
Did you have a new client or something, or what's
well, we have that same big client that we
okay.
have, and I had to replace 4 switches last week because we're replacing all their switches, and they have 16 total in one building. Yeah, pretty big. And so I replaced 4, and that usually should take 15 minutes, but because I ran into bad cables and a stripped screw and crap, it took me 45 minutes. And so next week I'm replacing the other 12, which is going to be hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have helpers for that one, so that'll be nice. And I've just been tired all week. I think because of that, I haven't really slept well for whatever reason. I'm not sure why, but I haven't. Though, the 2 big things that I wanted to mention that aren't in the check-in, I got a haircut.
I know, dude, yeah, I dig it too, by the way.
Well, you put the anime joke, or the cartoon character joke,
yeah.
and that, like, the way she styled it, I wasn't a huge fan of, but I liked it. But, like, the way I've got it now, oh my god, dude, I love this haircut. And
I gotta look at you, I thought, yeah.
My ex called it hipstery, but you know what? I don't care. I think it looks good.
You know, military had that before it was cool. Like, we've had that haircut style.
Yeah,
Since,
it's the the hairstylist actually, because I told her, John has a haircut similar to this, and so I was like, I want the undercut, and she goes, the what? And I was like, oh, okay, hold on, and I pulled up some Googled images because I was prepared for this to happen. She goes, oh, you want the Prohibition cut? And I went, the what? Yeah, and she goes, that's the haircut that everybody from the Prohibition period had. And I went, all right, cool, whatever. And she goes, yeah. And she looked at the picture, she goes, the exact thing. She's like, do you want the hard cut or just a soft cut? And the hard cut is where it's like right here, like right on the temple. You just like do a hard line.
Oh, I know.
Like you shave it all the way to the skin, right?
Like on both sides?
Well, yeah, on both sides. And I was like, let's not start there. Like, let's ease me into this haircut. It's a little different. But I dig it, man. I love it. It's easy to maintain. So it's sweet. That, and if you haven't watched The Night Before with Seth Rogen, and it's a raunchier movie. It's not too bad, but if you're 12 and 13, you should probably get parental permission.
Be wary. Yeah.
Be wary. Yeah, there's some higher level or older jokes, but Goosebumps was so good. Me, my son, and my daughter all sat down and watched it. Nobody moved. Nobody got up. Nobody played, and they didn't even try, dude. They were hooked. It was so good, and I love the way they do it. It was because all like the premise is all the books have the stories in them.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then they come out and so you remember Slappy the puppet
Yes, I loved all those books.
Oh
I read
my
them all.
god.
Loved
So
them.
Slappy is like the main villain, and he's freaking hysterical. Oh my god, it's so good.
I
Yeah.
want to watch it because I just didn't know how Jack Black would be because typically
Oh,
he's
it's
like
so
the Riddler
good.
of movies, but
No, what? No, I
and
like
he's
Mr.
hit or
Jack
miss for
Black.
me, man. Like Gulliver's
Okay.
Travels, no way. Like,
Oh,
that
I
was
see. I liked him in Gulliver's Travels, but I didn't like that stupid Luchadora movie.
Oh, see, I like that one. So I guess it's just we quote that one all the time. It's just
preference.
so dumb. You have a lot of stuff you can quote, you know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we have movies like that that are just like it's a quotable movie, not necessarily a good
yeah.
movie. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's
So that's it for me, man. It was a pretty chill week outside of that. So no. Last thing, my son. We went to a meeting today, and he's being looked at for gifted classes.
Oh yeah. So did that finally go through? Or how long's
yeah,
the process?
well, it's a bit of a process, right? It takes a couple weeks to do all the testing, so they're going to give him 2 tests in the next couple weeks.
Okay.
If he passes those, or if he scores a certain amount on those, then they'll give him a cognitive test, and then he has to score a 10, at least a 10 out of 30 on that to be in Tennessee. Like, there's like all these fucking things you have to meet to be gifted. But if you meet those, then he can start taking time, which he's already spending time with a gifted teacher, but it would be like more regular time instead of twice
Okay.
a week. It would be almost every day, and it would be. But he's already getting harder work according to his teacher, which I knew, but it was to the extent like he's getting harder math and harder reading. Like she's running out of things for him to do, and I'm like, ooh, that's not good. And so,
Well, as a
I'm
parent,
hoping-
that's good. You're like, awesome.
yeah,
Like,
as
it's
a parent, I'm
smart,
like,
it's a genius.
yes, he's a genius. Which I honestly like, not to toot my own horn, but I got bored in school and I slept through classes, and so I was really worried about my kids doing the same thing, and so, and even Haley, she was very the same way. Like she was, the difference being like she wanted to study and do all her work and be not a teacher's pet, was like very like and wanted A and high 90s
Right,
and
just to see.
and
it,
I
yeah.
was like, as long as I make an A, I don't care. It could be 90.9.
Dude, an
However,
A's
you
an
get
A.
me the A. Like I want to do the bare minimum to get to the A.
Yeah.
And so, I don't think I think I got a C in college and then 1 in high school. But other than that, it was A's and B's, no problem.
Yeah, that's me too, man. I got to
So-
see in Spanish, Espanol.
Oh yeah. Oh dude. You know what? That's probably
That was
one
the
of
only
mine.
C I ever got was Spanish.
Which it sucks because like now I wish I didn't have crappy Spanish teachers, but I did. Well, you know what? Maybe maybe that's. Oh no! Yeah, no, it's live. Yeah. So I don't know. I certainly I don't know. Not for me. I just lost my train of thought because I was responding to a Facebook thing on. There's no link to the YouTube, and then I found it and linked it. So yeah, let's roll. We don't really have any news, and we have some news. We're gonna try and we decided that, and unless you guys say differently on Twitter or email, Instagram, the news section was more of like anything that's really interesting. But we noticed we were trying to fill it out
Yeah, just a
versus
whole lot of
putting
stuff
good
that's super
stuff that we really wanted to talk about. Like, so that news will be stuff for like where we want to talk about things, but it won't be like news in the sense that it really is just gonna be topics, and they might be topical, but either way, it'll be a little bit of fluff before we get into our main topic.
Yeah,
So
you,
first
well, you
one-
have the first one, and I didn't get to watch, but about half of it, but I got the gist of it.
Yeah,
and
and
I
so
liked what I saw. So go ahead and explain this a
It's-
little bit.
the cool thing is I'm gonna explain a little bit of this, and then I'll let you respond to it, and then I'm gonna find a certain clip. I should have already had it queued up, but I wanted to point it out. It's like the last 10-15 seconds, but it's so good. Basically, this guy, and I haven't watched this in a while, it actually showed up in my Facebook from like one of my posts from last year. And basically, this guy, and I'm sorry that I can't remember his name, we'll put the link out. He basically talks about men and women in a relationship, and one of the biggest things is that women typically have an insecurity of, oh, well, my guy doesn't want me because XYZ, and he talks about like when men look at other women, it's just biologically going to happen. Men are going to think other women are attractive. They may think they're more attractive than you, as attractive than you, or less attractive, but we're probably gonna look. Like, it's just built in to be like, oh, beauty. We appreciate beauty as men. Like, for whatever form we classify beauty, we appreciate it. But, like, he makes a whole lot of points, like, and I thought about this, and each time I watched it, I can tell you that I've looked at women and went, oh, wow, she's really beautiful. And then if you asked me 5 minutes, 30 seconds, 60 seconds later to describe that woman, I probably could not do it.
She had hair.
She was blonde, baby, with her clothes. I mean, there has to be clothes because I probably would have remembered a naked chick. But
Right.
and so he does a good job of just talking about that. That like women typically get concerned when their man's looking around, but he just looks because for most men it's just like, I mean, there'd be no different than a girl seeing a guy with a good body on the beach and going, well, like, and we don't like lose our cookies, or we certainly shouldn't. Yeah, man, I don't know, and so, yeah. So you watched the first half. What did you think
I did.
about it?
I thought it was really. I'm pretty sure that isn't he a psychologist? I may be getting that right, or
I believe so.
I think he's a psychologist of some
He's
sort.
with Prager University. So.
He's really well spoken. I'll tell you that. So.
Oh my God, is he
spoke
not?
really
Yeah.
well on the topic. Oh, they just did good shoot. You know, like cut it in the perfect spots. But yeah, so what he says is how guys, you know, when you go on vacation, like the stressor comes when with some women, and I think this is probably with younger couples, I would say, and
Yeah,
some
I would
seasoned
100%
couples.
agree.
It's more of an issue, or for those who aren't comfortable with
Their own
themselves.
selves, yeah.
Yeah, and so they talk about where men, when they go to the beach, you know, like men maybe like looking, like not necessarily like breaking their necks to check out someone, but
they're gonna
looking as someone
glance.
passes by. Yeah, but that's where the stress for women come because they think one, is he going to leave me? Two, does he think that they're more attractive? Are we going to lose our relationship because of that woman? Meanwhile, the man is going to forget what that girl even ever looked like 20 minutes later. That was his point. And the title is He Wants You, and the whole point is a guy may look, but if your relationship is, you know, where you think it is, he wants you. Like, it doesn't matter who he looks at. Now, there's a difference, I think, between a guy looking, but like being in total love, like with the woman he's with, versus a guy who's, you know, I could care less about this relationship and is looking at women. There's the stand. You got to understand the difference, but he wants you, and I think that was a great point because it happens. I mean, it's built into a guy's OS.
I love that.
I knew you'd appreciate that. It's in our operating system, and so it does happen. I mean, and of course, some guys you got to rein it in.
Yeah, and
It's not our intent. I mean, we don't actively and like, yeah, there's guys who have like 6-pack abs. My wife and I will see, you know, people on TV, and we're like, and she's like, oh, she's beautiful. I'm like, yeah, she's beautiful. Or we'll see a guy, and I'm like, dude, he's a great looking guy. Like the guy who plays Neil Caffrey on White
Oh
Collar.
yeah,
He's a beautiful man.
Yeah,
you know.
very
And so
attractive man.
my wife's like, he's a beautiful man. I'm like, well, he is, and
yeah. Can't
he's
argue
better.
that point.
he's better looking than me. But
I mean, I'd agree, right?
But my wife wants me.
Yes, she wants you, right?
Doesn't she? Or is she gonna
is
leave
that
me?
because he's
No.
to be fair, he's unattainable because he's
But
technically gay and a
he's gay,
celebrity.
yeah.
Yeah.
So technically, he's mine. Take
Yeah,
that, honey.
yeah, you take that. Really, this is about me. Okay, so I got that last little bit where he
Even
summarized.
more attractive women. He is A, not comparing you to them, B, not in any way becoming dissatisfied with you, and C, certainly not thinking of them later. He looks at them because they are other women, whether they are more attractive, just as attractive, or less attractive. They are women in bikinis, so he looks. Where there is basic domestic harmony and mutual physical attraction, more than anything your husband wants you.
And that's
Man.
that's the whole point right there, is that, you know, he's married to you or he's in a long-term relationship with you. And I bring this up because I think it's a very good point for both men and women both to know that, like, it's marriage, man, is not easy. Long-term serious relationships are not easy. And the physical aspect, while very important, it doesn't mean shit when you're looking at some chick who walks by with a great outfit or beautiful hair or a dominating smile, like however you want to say it. Like, it doesn't matter. That's just the surface. So he doesn't care. He doesn't care at all. Like, If he did, he wouldn't be with you. He would be tasting the surface of every woman. Like it's
Right.
yeah. So I just thought that was always good to bring up.
That's a good article. I'm glad you found that. I hadn't seen that anywhere.
So you put in something here.
Yeah, and I'm sure, and you know it. Everybody feels it when the time comes around, when the new president, when it's time to elect a new president, and you have all the caucuses and the primaries, and people lose their mind when it comes time to vote, and people become enemies who are friends when it comes time to decide who's going to be the next president. And I'm seeing posts from people, like people are starting to come out, their ugly side is really just coming out, and they're so adamant and being right about like who's going to be president, and if you don't agree, then like to death with you, which is another point. I think people now, people used to never talk about who they're going to vote for, and now people are so open, they don't care who knows.
Yeah.
So
they don't care at all.
That's
like,
cool.
Whatever. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Devin, you and I would consider us best friends, and you believe in God, and I don't. Accept
Okay,
that.
That's a good way to put it.
I can accept that. And then you say shit like, I'm going to vote for Trump. And I go, why are we friends? This is awful. He's a fucking monster of a human being. And that me being said, I don't really give a shit who's, like, I did vote, and I definitely have a preference, right?
Uh-huh.
But I'm just so scared of what the country's going to be like when he gets elected. Because he is going to get elected, and that's so scary.
Well, a friend of mine today was talking about how he was gonna vote for Trump. He got reported on somebody. He wasn't being like slanderous or anything. He was just saying, "I'm gonna vote for Trump. Things are gonna change." And someone reported his Facebook post, and it got removed.
Someone's doing God's work, son.
Hey,
We're getting that Trump shit out of here.
Well, at first I was picking Trump because he sounds good. Like most politicians, they have like good things that sound
Does he
good.
sound good? Like, I don't think he does.
did.
He rambles. He sounds like a buffoon who's had one too many beers and is just saying everything that he can possibly think of.
Dude, he's preaching to the old red,
He
white,
just
and
talked
blue
about his
heart of
dick on
Americans.
stage recently.
No. Did you?
Yes,
the
it
whole
was
thing
an
surrounded-
innuendo. It was an innuendo for sure.
Yeah, but Rubio's the one who prompted that whole thing. Did
Who
you see
cares? He didn't have to engage in it. I don't think Rubio's better by any means. They're all fucking awful. But Trump's the only one who's like,
Well, I heard somebody say this today, and for the most part, when it first came open, because if anything, I would rather Cruz be in office, honestly. But I was doing that to like troll people because they were so upset about Trump that I was like, I'm gonna be putting Trump out there, and people are just getting so mad. And not like I was doing that, but if people ask like, "What are you voting for?" Like, go Trump, just to get a rise out of
yeah,
him.
absolutely.
But I heard someone today say, because we know it's going to be Hillary, we know it's going to be Trump. That's going to be the two candidates. It's going to be those guys.
Right.
Sorry, Byrne. Sorry, Cruz and Rubio. That's who it's going to be.
Saint Bernard.
Feel the burn.
Feel the
Oh my
burn.
God.
Yeah, he will the whole time he's pissing away his political future.
He's going to be dead in 2 years. Not even going to make it. So this guy says, with Trump, we're either going to get something really awesome or the worst thing ever. But with Hillary, we're going to get what we've already got. Do we want what we've already got? And I was like,
Yeah, my country's
Okay.
still in one piece. I really fear. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, sure, there's some racial shit going on, and here's where we really need to boil it down to. Honestly, the president doesn't mean shit. Let's be honest. If you really care about this country, you're going to be voting for the people that are in Congress, and you're going to be voting for your local representatives. The
That's what I
president
would say,
is
yeah.
like the fucking queen. Now, I'm going to vote.
Did we say the queen was a vampire once? I think.
Yeah. She is, dude. She's lived forever. Like, I'm concerned. You ever seen her eat garlic? Never.
Nope.
Never. You don't ever see her in front of any mirrors, and she's got the big floppy hat. She's
on
never in
FBI.
direct sunlight.
She's-
Like, these are rules.
Them's the
I'm
breaks.
just saying. Dims the brakes, man. Now, so the thing here, I heard this, and I'll repeat it. It's not my ideas at all. And by the way, we have somebody in the chat, which is actually my old supervisor, Chris. I worked under him at
Hey,
my
Chris.
last company.
Good to have you, man. I heard about you.
He's starkly religious on your side of the fence.
Oh, welcome.
Yeah. Yeah, it's okay to be wrong. It is. So I heard something really good about Trump. Like, get this. Trump has always been like a really big supporter of the Clinton Foundation, right? So what if Trump is just being fucking Trump, and he's gonna get elected, and he's gonna tank it, so Hillary gets elected? Like, this was his plan all along. And
he succeeds. And
have you ever noticed this guy is not successful? Like, he was given shit ton of money when he like became a person, and he has just like ruined everything he's touched. Like Trump steaks.
Well, I mean, he maybe it's not a good product, but man, he's got so much out there. He just makes tons of money. That's obvious.
Does he? How much has he? Have you watched? All right, I don't want to get into this, but that being said, go watch John Oliver's Last Week Tonight with John Oliver.
He's so funny.
And watch his Trump segment, because it's pretty eye-opening. You know how Trump's always like, I put my own money in this. Go watch that, because it breaks it down. And Trump has put $250,000 into his campaign. If you know anything about campaigns, they take millions of dollars. So he's not funding his campaign. So
like I said, man, like this year, like, people are just getting more crazy about the elections and it's stuff like that. Like, you know, just the time. I don't know what's gonna happen, and my vote. I'm gonna vote for sure, but it's not gonna be a thing. I'm about to set my wife up. It's not gonna be a thing where I'm definitely not voting for Hillary. So it's whoever's, and it's not because she's Democrat. You have your phone?
No.
So it'll be whoever is in that other slot, because I'm gonna go off views. If a Democrat has views that match up with mine, and you know, you're never going to have somebody who has all the Christian views. It's not going to happen. And if you think that as someone, I've seen a lot of Christians who have been saying, if you vote for Trump, you can't be a Christian. And my mind is, I'm like, I can't believe people have audacity to say that. And I'm sure there's people on the other side of the fence saying, if you vote Democrat, you can't be Christian. So I don't know where people are getting this.
That's dumb. I don't think you can. A, you shouldn't tie your religious beliefs into politics. And B, it's hard to make those lines in the sand saying, if this, then that, and the really gray areas.
Yes.
So
anyway, we'll skip over that.
Yeah, let's roll through. Yeah, let's roll through to your next thing, and then we'll go to our main topic.
Yeah, just real quick. If you guys want to email us any questions you have, we have a section. It's called Q&A, but we don't get a whole lot of Q&A from you guys, and we just want you guys.
It's always blank.
It's always blank. It's so sad. They're just like, it's like a cursor that just blinks there, but nothing ever.
And just reminds us that nobody contacts us.
But you guys are viewing, which is fine.
People are listening and watching, but nobody really cares. Like, there's like, oh, I need to unsubscribe from that. Like I meant, but whatever. So
we want to hear from you, and I know some people are saying, well, I don't want to ask questions that may be offensive. If you've ever heard Dwayne's mouth, you can't offend that man.
Yeah.
Send us your questions, whatever it is. You know, even if some of you are going to send questions after you hear us, and they're going to be like, you know, try to like corner us one way or the other. But
bring it on. Like, assault me with your questions. I will build a case against you and come on with a luxurious white thing that the hairpiece that I'm using my hands like the hairpiece that the British people wear, and I will get my son's toy gavel, and I will come on and be like, objection, objection. I will fucking destroy your points. It'll be great. It'll be Hitler claimed to be Christian. Hey, did you know Chris says Hitler claimed to be Christian? To be fair, he probably was, and you can't take that away from him. You can't tell him he's not Christian.
Well, I don't think he gets. I don't think he got what it meant to be a Christian.
Okay, that's fair. Still, I mean, we have people all the time that call themselves Christians, and they're like, oh well, yeah, but you know, I don't want any of that hellfire damnation. I'll take the heaven, but I'm gonna go ahead and have sex with all these random women, and then we're gonna go to church with my wife tomorrow. So.
Well, it's like I said, people can claim it, but there's a different lifestyle. There's a title versus a lifestyle.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we'll actually roll into our main topic, and this is more from me to you, right? Because there's something called God's will, right?
Yeah.
Or that's how I would explain it, and if I'm wrong, at least I'll explain what I mean.
Yeah.
So God's will to me is like when you hear those people that go, "Oh, well, God told me to do it," or I'm doing this for God, or any time where you actually have someone go, "Oh yeah, I'm doing this because of God."
Yes. Yeah.
So I want to know what that's like, and here's why. I want to know when you tell me, because I know you have. I'm trying to walk in the path of God, and you've said stuff like, and I don't want to say verbatim that you said God spoke to me, or that I've had this moment with God, because I'm a very realistic person. Obviously, that's why I'm an atheist. And so when someone says God spoke to me, I have a hard time cornering you guys from the people that are just sitting in the straitjackets going, no. He said burn down the whole place. And so what's the difference to me?
No, dude, I share your sentiments. Sometimes, of course. Okay, so there's so much we can talk about right now. Let me just say there's a general will of God, and you sort of went off. There's two different directions you wanted to go. One was, what is the will of God? How do you feel that? How do you feel that will? Like, how do you know what it is God wants you to do? Right? Am I right in saying that's one direction you'd go? What is the will of God?
Right. Well, I don't know. Maybe I'm using the wrong terminology, and that's why I say, because I want to know how you commune with God. Because
Okay.
and there's two ways that works for me. One, you hear God's voice, however you do that. Or
Okay.
two, you just internalize the concept and go, oh, God would want me to do this, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's still you.
Right.
That's not God.
Well-
and so, are you hearing voices, or are you just going based off like His teachings and meditating on it, essentially? And that's your prayer.
Are you asking me as Devin or me as?
Well, I
the
want to know
general
both.
populace?
I want to know what Devin does, because I've never asked you, and then B, I
Yeah.
want to know the general philosophy behind that.
Okay, so me personally. Well, let me just. We'll walk through this together. I have this stuff written out because I know
Hand in hand.
So God, what is God's will? And so I guess if you say, well, what is God's will? We have to ask the question, what's a will? What is the will of someone? The man-made definition is it's a person's choice or desire in a particular situation. So what is God's desire? Because He's the person in the situation. What is God's desire for our lives? Our lives are the situation. So what is God's desire for our lives? That's His will. What is God's desire for our life? So if I do the umbrella approach of what is God's will, what does He want us to do? The umbrella, and then all the other little things that fall underneath, but the umbrella is one. Matthew, this is biblically, this is found Matthew 22:36-40, where He says, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, strength." And then He says, and then the second commandment, which is this: love your neighbor as yourself. And I've told you that before. So that first part, love God with all your heart, soul, mind, strength, and then love your neighbor as yourself. And then secondly, this is Mark 16:15. This is what Christians call the Great Commission, or the Bible calls the Great Commission. It says, "Go into all the world and preach the gospel to all creation." Now, some people have argued, when this was written, like Israel, Judah, Jerusalem, the Middle East area was the only area that was there. So does that apply today? Well, absolutely applies today. If the first one applies, love God and treat people like they're supposed to be treated, then the second would apply. Like, you need to take this into the world. Like, that's how everyone needs to be treated. They need to know who God is from a Christian standpoint.
Sure.
So that is the umbrella approach to God's will. And someone may debate me. Someone, even Christians may say, well, I don't think that's right, or this is more to it. To me, that's, like I said, the umbrella. There are several other things that go underneath that. For example, Proverbs talk about how, and this sort of goes to your point a little bit, when people say, well, God told me, or I felt this. Proverbs says that there's a way that seems right to a man, but the ends thereof are death. Like the way that, so things end up, and it's not what it is, because maybe what you wanted, once you wanted to happen, was what you wanted to happen, but you said that you thought God told you to do it, or God showed you this. And so sometimes, and I've seen this, and it's sad that Christians will use God as a way to make things happen that they want to happen. The crusade,
God told me to bet on black. He said right there, black 21.
Yes.
Thursday.
I get so frustrated sometimes when I've in the Christian world, man, here's the problem. Here's the problem I have with it, and I'm not like going against them. Here's the problem I have with people saying that in a sense, because if someone says to me, "Well, God said I should do this," in the Christian world, then all the other Christians around that person who heard this person say, "Well, God told me to do this," like how can I debate that? How can I go against that? Because if God says it, right, then it should be okay.
Did he leave a voicemail, or was that like was it a post-it that got lost? Like I want to know how did he communicate that with you, brother? Because I don't think we should be beating up black people.
Right. No. Exactly. And so one of the points I go to. So you wanted to know what ways? What does God talk to people? What ways is that? I had that here. Let me.
What is it? What is that? There's a whole movie around where she like sees symbols and shit in the world.
Wait.
I can't remember. Like her whole thing is that like she sees symbols and that's fate to her, and her guy in the movie. It's like a romantic comedy, and the guy's like,
"Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't see any of this shit." It was pretty good. I can't remember it though. She was just nuts though, but.
1 Timothy 1:4 says that God's plan, which you and I know, His plan operates by faith, which operates by faith. We've talked about that. So how does God talk to people? Well, in the Old Testament, if you look back, God talked to people directly.
He just straight up came and
yes.
Hey, Devin, knock it off. No creamer in the coffee. That's not God's will.
Go here. So He talked to Moses. He talked to Gideon. He talked to the prophets, Noah, on and on. So Old Testament is God talking directly to people. But He sends people too, to talk on His behalf. But a lot of times God did talk to people directly. But I would like to point out that it was like momentous occasions. I mean, you think about Moses, who led a people out of Egypt, Gideon, who was sent with only a few men to attack an entire city, these prophets who were supposed to turn the hearts of entire nations, Noah, who was supposed to build this giant ark and try to tell people to get on it, and then no one did. And so, like momentous occasions in the Old Testament when God makes these appeals to men. Then we go to the New Testament, which is Jesus, who is God in a bod, and Jesus comes down and he comes into the world and He talks to people directly. So now we have the same interaction, Jesus talking to people. He travels all over the known world at that time, talking to people in human form. He's God in human form. But then we get to after the death of Jesus, and so people say, well, how does He talk to us today? How does He talk to us today if He's gone? Well, He talks to us in a few ways. One is His Word, the Bible. We still have the history account of Jesus, the history account of God, and we still have a lot of those, like your grandpa, or your dad, or whoever was a giant influence in your life. You still remember some of those key things maybe they told you. You say, well, my grandpa used to say this, or my dad always told me this. Well, in a similar fashion, the Bible has a lot of things for us to go back off and to reflect on. So the Bible, the Word of God, is one of our ways that God talks to us. He talks to us through events, certain things that are going to happen in your life. Now, I could talk a whole nother portion about, again, events where people say, well, God must have opened up this door for me, so I'm going to do this. Or, God, give me a sign. If this light turns red, that means this is going to happen. And that's not how that works. So when I say events, I mean, there are certain things that help us discern right from wrong.
Like a Bible stops a bullet kind of events. Because to me that sounds like you're just doing cold reading when you go, oh, well, God sends people or events to come. Like, you're doing your own interpretation. Like, for me, and again, this comes back to my whole, I'm very stark on this. I need some proof. I need some realism here. I want a guy walking up and go, hey, by the way, God sent me. And he's gonna have to fucking prove that. He's gonna have to turn water into wine. He's gonna have to levitate something.
It always goes back to wine with you.
That's Jesus' big trick. I mean, if he wants to die, this guy wants to die and come back 3 days later, that's proof too. But my point is this whole cold reading a room kind of thing is frustrating for me because God at some point went, fuck humanity. At some point, I was talking to you guys, intervening, and having you guys do shit for me, and then I went, you know what? You guys are the step-headed child. I went and married this other chick, and she's got cool children, and you guys can visit on the weekends.
Idiot. And the thing about that is,
there's aliens on Mars that are getting God's attention right now.
Where is the Trinity? In
Alpha, Omega, and
no. Well, that's
the Holy Ghost.
Yeah. No, that's right. I was going to go to that. So there's God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit, Trinity, the Godhead.
Wait,
three
hold
in
on.
one.
The God, the Father, and the Holy Ghost, right?
God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit. Yes.
Oh, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit.
Yes.
All of which are Jesus.
God. Well, Jesus is God, so yes, interchangeably.
No, Jesus is not God. Jesus
Yes.
was a person that
He
was
was-
crucified. He's not God.
He
Okay,
is God.
no,
if he's
by-
not God,
by
then all of religion
definition.
doesn't matter.
Well, does it?
Listen,
No.
let me finish.
Okay.
So, the Holy Spirit was sent to us, and he talks about when we accept Christ, or when you're baptized with Christ, you are given the gift of the Holy Spirit. For Christians, that's like, to us, that's what morality is. That's the right and wrong, like that deep sense of man, I'm doing this thing or this thing, but I shouldn't be doing this thing or that thing. That's the gift that God gave us, is this Holy Spirit. And this Holy Spirit allows sort of us to determine if, is this the right thing or is this the right thing, and to make our decisions, direct our own paths through that. And then there's this whole thing about, God lets bad things happen to bad people, or God lets bad things happen. They place blame.
Yeah.
But I would say to those people, if you take God away, who do you blame about like life just happening?
People. You blame the people that did it.
Well, and then I would go on to say, things happen from a religious aspect because of sin, because sin entered the world, and sin in a general thing. So back in the beginning of time, Adam and Eve, sin entered the world, and that's why bad things happen. Not because you didn't pay your rent, or because you spanked your child, or because this or that. Things don't happen because we don't have this karma effect. And I think a lot of people tend to default and say, hey, karma this. So if I do something bad's going to happen to me. And for people to think that way is just crazy to me, because if that was the case and you did good things all the time, shouldn't good things only happen to you all the time?
Okay.
You get flat tires.
I gotta pause you here because two things. One, as someone who believes in God, an ultimately invisible person, invisible entity, something totally on faith, you just knocked fucking karma, which fits the exact same bill. Like, you just bashed a whole nother fucking religion.
Yeah, well, depends on what, like, karma's not in the, like, there's nothing in the
No,
Bible.
but there are other religions that live and die by karma, and like, you should be good in all aspects of your life. And your second argument is, if people were good all the time, then nothing bad would happen to them.
No, I said that would not happen. No, that's why I'm saying that doesn't happen.
Well, right, and that's what I'm saying. I must have misspoke. You said people who do good things all the time assume nothing bad should happen to them, but you don't believe that to be true. Right? Like, people can do good things all the time and bad shit still happen to them, right? That's what your point.
I mean, that does happen. That's why I'm saying karma can't.
Right. Well, my point is, or my counterpoint to that is, who do you know that does only good all the time? That doesn't do some type of negative thing? I don't think I've ever met somebody in the world. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, until I can get a baseline, man, karma could be real. Like, it's more likely to me, because I can explain karma to you with the ripple effect than I can, like, God being real.
Yeah, but that doesn't make sense, because if you do more good in your life than bad, but you don't end up, I don't know, and then it goes
Well, you
off.
You have to do a judgment scale on, like, is opening the door for this woman good enough, and doing that 1,000 times over the course of a few days good enough to anchor the fact that you called this bitch a slut who was stripping in front of you. Now you're at a strip club. Now you're like being derogatory. Like, does the rest balance out? Like, you have a scales of good and evil. And
exactly.
So,
That's why to me that's dumb, because the whole point behind Christianity is it's not about, like, weighing out the good and the bad, and you get rewards for good and you get punishment for bad, in a sense that it's immediate. Because sin is general. It's not specific to an instance. And so Jesus came because the whole point was, you're all sinners. Like, sin in the world, you're all sinners, but I'm here to take on that sin. Like, you can be not perfect, but you can be forgiven of those sins, and you don't have to worry about the weighing them out because of me. But
so
that's
before Jesus, did everybody just go to hell?
No, there was. So what they would do, like, they had a rollover plan in the Old Testament. So they would go to.
Good.
They would go to the temple priest. They would go to the high priest, and they roll their sins over. So So here's what happens when everybody dies. So everyone's dead right now. So they're either, and some people have different views about this, paradise and Tartarus. Yes. So you can think of paradise like Jesus when he was on the cross with the two.
That doesn't sound like paradise.
No, he wasn't there yet, you a-hole. So he's on the cross, and he says to one of them, that because he says this man didn't do anything, but he's being crucified. He has no, and so he told that guy, today you'll be with me in paradise. Again, that's something people can argue about. We don't know, like, is paradise the waiting room for heaven, and Tartarus is the waiting room for hell? So you kind of already know where you're going based on how God is judging you once you get to that point. But on the day of judgment, like the Bible talks about how those who are dead, those are going to be the first judged, and then everyone who's living will come after them.
Oh wait, hold on. Now is that a current methodology or theology, or did that get washed away with that other book you guys tossed out?
We didn't toss it out, you a-hole. It's still very much something that we use.
You don't abide by it by any means, so don't act like it's a book that matters. It's there for historical purposes. It's like going, a token ring is real important in a network. However, we don't actually use it anymore. We do an IP, an Ethernet network.
That's because the Old Testament was a doctrine set out by God on the Ten Commandments. And so the Ten Commandments is the Old Testament. That's what everybody...
No, I get it. You threw out a book, and you're going to contest that. But my point is, do we have waiting rooms now?
Yes. I mean, the Bible tells me yes.
So basically, anybody who's dead now is not actually in heaven. They're in paradise.
See, I don't know. That's debate. See, to me, I would say, well, the way I read that... And
I want somebody to die, hit the waiting room, walk up and go, paradise was not a parking lot. And then we resurrect them with paddles, and they go, whoa! Okay, there's a waiting room, guys. No real hurry. Ragnarok is what's important. That way we can go on to heaven. I've actually never heard of that.
It's called Rapture.
No. Wait. I know what it's called, but Ragnarok is.
Did you know that's also a ship in Final Fantasy VIII?
I absolutely did. Absolutely. Okay, get out of here with that. Absolutely did. Ragnarok is also the judgment for.
The Viking.
I want to say it's Norse.
It is. It's Norse. The Vikings, Norse gods. Yeah.
Yeah, it is their. It's the Old Norse.
It's the battle between the
doom of the gods. It's like when the gods all. It's pretty good. Anyways, go back to your point. You should look up the Ragnarok if you like mythology and fake stuff like Christianity. You should check that out.
Yeah, and you should also read like the Percy Jackson series, and then also the other series that just came out, which is about Norse mythology, which is pretty awesome. So
Chris asked this question in the chat: Does God grant you strength or give you opportunities to be strong?
Absolutely. It talks about, I believe
Hold on. You can't say absolutely to an or question, for starters. That's like when you go yes or no, and you go...
It seems like the same thing. Like
does God grant you strength, or does he give you opportunities to be strong? Does God grant you strength, or does he give you a challenge for you to rise to or fall?
I think that one does the other. So by giving you opportunities... James says that God tests us. It doesn't say that he tempts us. It says that he tests us.
I hope that's just multiple choice.
What's that?
Personally. I hope it's multiple choice, personally, when these tests come along.
Oh, gosh. I'm always like, wait, what is it? Where's it going?
I don't get it.
James says that he tests us. And so it's like, do you pass or fail? Here's your... I don't know if you want to call it like your Herculean, like your what did he have to do? Those like feats or whatever.
His seven feats or seven.
Yeah. So here's your test. It's up to you to pass or fail, and because if you pass, you're stronger. If you fail, it's like, all right, I got some crap to learn. This might happen. Like this test may come about again. This may be presented to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's fair to say God gives you strength, because I don't think for most part that's a default. I know people go, God gives me strength, but really it's you who has to make the day. You may rely on this idea of God that helps you get through it, right? Like those people that are like, just the idea that God's there on my side, and that helps them get through this hard time. And I would even say that God doesn't. For argument's sake, if God. The only logical thing that makes sense is that God would give you challenges, hurdles to tackle. But bringing this back around, I actually want to use this as a vaulting point of the whole God never gives you anything you can't handle. I hate that.
Yeah, it didn't say. Yeah, well, which we've talked about, and we both understand that that's not biblical, correct? We agree on
Right?
that?
Yeah, we both talked that was a wash. That was something the humans came up with. So I think next week, because we're running close to that hour limit, I think we're gonna hit it here in just a few minutes. Next week, we'll talk about how God talks to you per se.
Okay.
Right? Like we talked about God's will.
Yeah, I
this week.
had a few more things on it too, so we can touch on that. We may even do. I had a thing because I thought we might go into judging others. That might be a good one.
Oh, I mean, yeah, we can do both. We can just keep it light on the news topics and just do weeks and questions and roll into the because I have so many good jokes about God talking to you, and I actually have some serious questions.
Here's what happens. So I'm the one I'm trying to answer preach. I'm like basically preaching.
He's preaching, and I'm just picking it apart the entire time.
You're just coming up with jokes.
Well, it's hard for me to have a serious argument with you when you say things like, "Well, Jesus and God are one," along with the Holy Ghost.
Yes,
They can't be. Look. So basically, what you're saying is that Mary gave birth to God.
Yes. So here's the thing. So if we're assuming because for argument's sake, you have to assume like, okay, let's pretend God is real. Don't you think?
Don't we all?
The God who created the universe, supposedly he created the heavens. Like to me, he created the heavens, the earth, the universe,
Absolutely.
everything. If you assume that, don't you think that maybe the things that he does is not like we can't understand some of those things? He's outside of time, like the Immaculate
absolutely
Conception.
agree that we can't understand them. However,
Here we go.
that's some weird fucking shit to be like, I'm gonna be my own father. Watch this. Hey Mary, you're pregnant. Guess who you're pregnant with? My body. What, God? Oh yeah, I'm coming out that vagina. Like, that's so weird.
Boy, it just screwed up the Bible.
First of all, for someone who had Immaculate Conception, there were a whole lot of dudes at that birth. Whole lot of guys going, does it look like me?
No, they weren't there, but it happened. You gotta do that count. You should go to church with me on Sunday, and by that I mean like drive up, stay the night, and go to church with me on Sunday. On that on Easter.
Wait, hold on. When is Easter?
I don't even know. It's in April.
Yeah. You made me really scared because, like, I have kids and I do Easter stuff, and I suddenly was like, hold on.
It's gonna be here before you know it, man.
I'm gonna look it up. It's like
It's,
what's the
3
rule?
weeks or
Oh,
so.
it's March
3.5 weeks.
27th. I got a whole month, and I'm not going to church with you on Easter. I'm not going to church with you. Period. Much
I'll
less
admit,
on Easter.
Dwayne came to church once to take pictures for me, and he did not catch on fire. So
Yeah, I have. Oh, whoa! I want to point out that I've been in several churches.
didn't fall down,
Typically-
didn't burn up.
No, I think the structure was tested though, right? Like there was like a lot of
You heard like a lot of groaning.
and like the doors like just get stuck often. Like I'm pretty sure I ran into a couple locked doors, and you walked by and it just went open right up. And you're like, that's weird, but you
I
know,
rolled a D20. You rolled a D1.
like every time you try to kick in a door. Yeah. So I think next week will be really good to broach the God talking to you and judgment. Whether it be God's judgment. Where are you going with that? God's judgment or people judging each other?
People judging each other, I think.
Okay. Cool. I'm down with that one. That makes
Yeah.
Part of this is when we get into some of these theological discussions, I'm like, oh, I really have to get on this platform where I believe in God or believe that God is a possibility to have an argument's sake. And then I expect logical responses, but can't get them because my brain doesn't work the same way yours does when it comes to that. So you know what we're going to talk about next week for sure. Other than that, I want to point out we had a couple live viewers over the portion, and then
And you said Chris, right? Chris is
Yeah.
your friend. Thank you,
Yeah.
Chris, for tuning in.
Yeah, and thanks for asking questions, dude. Like, he was one. I absolutely loved talking to him when we worked together because we would talk about religion and people, and just his take on things is. Out of all the
And I'd
people
like
I
to
know,
point out that
Devin.
I may not be giving. So, like when we have these questions, I may not be able to give like the full thought answer because we jump around so much. And so,
Oh yeah, we bounce around, and we typically try to fit our main topic in like a 20-30 minute window. So that's not enough time. That's part of why we started writing articles, honestly, just to expand on that. honestly, Devin, like, you're one of the people I know that walks the closest line of Christ that I would, like, agree with if I were a Christian. Like, because to me, if you're going to walk that line, you need to walk it as damn close as you can get. Chris is another person that I would say walks that line pretty fucking tightly.
Chris, send me firepower. Via.
So, where can people find you, Devin, before we sign on out?
Yeah, awesome. So you can find me on Instagram. That's at Thunder Arms, all lowercase. THUNDERARMZ at the end, Thunder Arms. And then I was corrected last week. My Twitter handle is, I guess you call it a handle, is Thunder Arms 7.
10-4, good buddy. 10-4.
Thunder Arms 7, which we have a website now, so you can find everything you need on that. We've written a few articles. Well, one a piece if you want to go check those out as well. I'm super excited again. Thanks, Dwayne, for doing that. Coffee mugs, if you want one for free, I think we should give one away. I'll order it and give it away, but you've got to go rate and review us on wherever you get your podcast from.
Yeah, if you've already rated and reviewed us, you will qualify, I think.
Yep.
And so we'll do like what you say. We want to say like a couple weeks. Give everybody a couple weeks.
Yeah,
to review and rate, and we'll pick a time off air when that day will end, and we'll post it on the website and our social medias and shit like that. And we'll pick somebody at random, and we'll try and get in touch with you, and if we can't get in touch with you, we'll pick somebody else, and we'll send somebody else some mugs, man. I can't wait to get mine. Though I imagine, well, you know what, I'm about to go fucking clean. I was going to say mine's going to be full of scotch, but it'll be herbal tea or coffee.
Yeah, that'll be too. I'm going to send it on Monday.
Oh, sweet, man. I can't wait. Thank you, by the way. Thank you so much for that.
No problem.
For me, you can find me Your IT Hero, and that's a possessive your, Y-O-U-R, on Twitter and Instagram. I'm honestly not super active. Like, Devin probably posts more than I do. But you can also email me with our email address, thepastorandatheistshow.com. Well, at gmail.com. Or you can go to the website, thepastorandatheistshow.com. And you can get either of our social medias there. I'm going to work on getting a contact form. I just haven't had any time to really mess with the website. I'm going to aim to do that tomorrow before I eat dinner, if I have time. My daughter's getting her first haircut tomorrow.
Oh, it's a big deal, man.
Yeah, it's a huge deal. So I can't wait.
It's my birthday Sunday, so you guys send me some emails loving that, so that'd be good.
Oh, is your birthday Sunday?
It is Sunday, big 2-7.
You get one of those every year, huh?
Every year they.
Hey, wait, hold on. You're turning 27?
Yeah.
Damn, you're older than me. I didn't realize that.
I know.
Huh. Well, I guess today I learned something. As much as we've had conversations, we've never talked about our age.
I knew I was older than you.
Oh, okay. We've talked about our age, and Dwayne just didn't listen. Because he was like, you believe in what now?
Wait, you said something about God. I didn't.
You said God gave me a birth again. Wait, he did what? Well, what'd your dad do in this role? Yeah. So, yeah, man, I appreciate everybody for listening, for watching, those of you who did. We enjoy this, and it means a lot to me for you guys to take the time to vote with your ears and your eyes. So I appreciate it very much.
Yeah, thank you very much, and as always, love you. Mean it.